Imagine taking a DNA test today, along with everyone else on Earth, and discovering that all 8 billion of us are cousins. It would mean that every person alive traces their lineage back to just 3 brothers. To understand how that happened, we have to rewind the clock, past the sprawling cities and the thousands of languages we speak today, all the way back to a completely empty, post-apocalyptic Earth. At the starting line of this new world, standing near Mount Ararat, are Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They are given a single directive: walk out into the emptiness and repopulate the globe. The record of what happened next is written down in Genesis chapter 10. If you've ever tried reading it, you likely hit a wall of ancient, hard-to-pronounce names and moved on. This list of names functions as an ancient GPS. It is the Bible's very first world map, designed to show exactly how one surviving family walked outward and claimed the continents. Think of it like a grand strategy game. Humanity starts at one central point in the Middle East, and the goal is to send settlers to establish regions of the globe. The text tracks the first brother, Japheth, whose descendants migrate north and west. They fan out across the islands and the coastlines, laying the groundwork for the early European and Mediterranean coastal civilizations. Then the map shifts to the second brother, Ham. His family line heads south. If you read the Bible, you'll recognize the locations Ham's descendants settled. His family tree plants the roots for major nations like Canaan and Egypt. You don't need to memorize the dozens of specific names in the chapter. By simply tracking the directions these families walked, you get a clear geopolitical layout of the ancient biblical world. The text occasionally pauses the map-making to zoom in on a specific person. In Ham's lineage, the camera stops on his grandson, Nimrod. He stands out because he is the biblical narrative's first warrior and empire builder. Nimrod transitioned from settling land to conquering it, establishing the first massive cities of the era, including Babylon and Nineveh. Finally, the text tracks the third brother, Shem. His descendants stay centrally located, filling in the middle of the map across the Middle East and Asia. Inside Shem's family tree is a grandson named Eber. The text highlights him for a specific reason. Eber is the root ancestor of the Hebrew people. When you step back and look at the fully expanded family tree, it contains exactly 70 names. In biblical literature, 70 is a number that represents total completeness. Those 70 early nations form a complete mosaic of humanity. The board is now perfectly set for every story the Bible is about to tell. This vintage map illustrates exactly how the ancient world was viewed, as a single interconnected whole. And looking at this complete picture reveals a deep irony. The nations that will spend the rest of the Bible fighting each other, like the Israelites, the Canaanites, and the Egyptians, are blood relatives from the same family tree. They eventually developed different languages, cultures, and gods, but they all share a single origin point. Genesis 10 concludes by describing a peaceful globe where everyone has settled into their own lands with their own languages. But that description is actually a flash forward. Because before they spread out across the map, this massive, unified family decided they didn't want to separate. Instead of walking outward, they decided to build upward. Genesis 10's map of a diverse, spreading world serves as the context for humanity's first great collective rebellion in the very next chapter, the Tower of Babel.